Perfect. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And what we're going to do here is let me see if I can make you guys a little larger just in case. So if you guys have anything, just unmute. Some of you are off screen. So any questions, feel free to unmute. Let me know. Don't try not to put it in the chat. It'll just be easier because since it's a small group. But what we're going to do first, guys, we're going to go over the listing manager. That's the new way to input listings. Then I'm going to show you the CMA tool, the new one. And so here's kind of the deal with the new the tools. One Home. When you hear about that, that's just something new for your client. And you guys really don't have to do anything for your listings. If they're incomplete, if they're active, everything carries over. For the new client portal called One Home, everything carries over as well. So really nothing you guys have to do. There's a new CMA tool as well that you guys can use. There will still be the old CMA tool, but you can use the new one. The only thing that's a hard cutoff, as we call it, is this listing manager or the new ad edit. So you cannot put a listing in the old way after February 25th. So you will have to embrace this new way, which you'll find today is, pretty much a lot more easy to input listings. So right here, guys, as you can see on my screen, nothing is changing on your dashboard. And with that being said, guys, none of the logic, none of the fields have changed. Everything is the same. It's really more of the interface, and they've added some AI to help you guys put more data in and pre-fill more. So let's go ahead and look at it. You're still going to go to Add Edit. It's going to be called Listing Manager. So right here, you're going to go to your Listing Manager. First thing you're going to notice, there's no drop down screen. So you're going to see all the listings right here, and it's going to default to editable. So you can change this. Of course, you can look at your actives, same as today, your pendings. You can look at your office. And of course, broker has access to all of them, but that's where you can change your views just to segment them out. Over here to the right, let me go ahead and get the highlighter out. If you have pages and pages of listings, then you can go ahead and use this little finder to go ahead and put in the listing ID, hit enter, and it's just going to pull up that listing. So that'll help you. And we currently have that today. The newest one, guys, I think is pretty neat is this. You guys have a what's called a list view versus a gallery view. So now you can actually change it to look more like this, has a little picture to it. So here's the main thing you guys need to take note of. Whether it doesn't matter which view you're on this gallery, you're going to see a pencil. That means edit to edit your input listing, right? To edit all the criteria, the fields. If we switch back to this other view, it's going to say edit. So whether it says edit or it's the little pencil, that's going to take you to edit the input form. The three little dots, that's the ellipses or action item. What that's going to do, it's going to be the same right here. You'll see it's the ellipses on both views. But what that allows us to do is, you'll notice here, it doesn't go into the input form. Now we still can go to the input form. It gives us a link, but this is where you're going to change the price, the status, share your listings, reverse prospect your listings. So let me show you share. If I click on it, it's going to kind of look like this. You just click the little copy, and you can copy that URL, paste it to wherever you're liking, reverse prospect, manage showing time, upload your documents. And then have you guys been using this one? Anybody use the listing compliance checker? So once you make it go active, you guys can click this and it'll scrub the listing before we ever scrub it. So that just kind of gets you ahead of the game right there. So again, the main thing I'm trying to drive home, guys, is the three dots is going to be your action items, and this will take you to edit the input form. So I'm going to go back and just start back over at the listing manager. And to add a listing, guys, it's going to be really simple now. What you're going to do is you're going to come over here to the top right and hit add. It's going to ask you for that property type. So we'll just say residential. And then when you start your listings now, it's much more streamlined. You don't have all those different, search fields, and it just makes it so much easier. All you do is you enter the address, the listing ID, or a tax ID. So over here, we can go ahead and we'll pull up one right here. We'll say Morning Glory. And once you start typing in the address, give it a second and you'll notice that it's going to find it down here. And if it's been listed, it'll have a listing ID as well as a tax ID. Just make sure that you pick the correct address. Once you do that, it's going to pin the parcel. So at this point, if that parcel is incorrect, you can move this to the correct one, adjust it manually, or you can just say revert. It'll go back to where it was. And then really, guys, I've always told you guys is, hey, let's fill from tax, right? That's always kind of been the best method, right? Fills the latest and greatest. With this new update, you might want to also consider filling from the existing listing. Now, this is not the live version. Let me see if I can get the live version over here real quick. On a live version, what it's going to look like when you go to add a listing, let me show you. Um, it's going to look more like this. You see how it says fill from existing and it has the MLS number, the address, and the status. That's what it's going to look like in the live production. I'm in a staging environment right here. So in the staging, it doesn't give us all that extra data. I just wanted to show you when we go live, you'll see all that extra. And the very top one will be the last time that it was in the MLS. That'll be the latest, right? So let me show you both ways. So if you fill from tax, check it out. If you want that blank input form, it's right there, right? You'll still have that, but we're gonna start with tax, okay? So everybody watch. When we fill from tax and say continue, when we go through this little input form, what you're going to see here, the difference is when you go to each of these fields, it can pull only the public record data. Okay. So that gives us, access. It says, okay, we filled all this public in. And so you'll just see that going down here. You can, of course, erase that. And then you click here, that pre-fills that, but it's already pre-filled from public. Now watch this. I'm going to cancel out of this. Okay. I'm going to go back here. We're going to restart that listing again. Over there, that was Morning Glory. So check this out. So instead of starting this from tax, what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to fill it from the existing listing. Okay. And watch the difference. When we get to this input form, now we're going to have two fields to fill from, tax and that existing listing. So the benefit of this is now you go field by field, and I can either choose to fill that field from the previous listing or from public record. So that previous listing will be right here. If I'm like, no, and let me get to something that might be a little different here. Usually legal description or one of these. Yeah, so over here you can see public record says Village 22 spelled out versus the previous listing did not. And I want to always go with public record. So I'm just going to click public record and then boom, it'll pre-fill that field with whatever data I want it to come from, either public record or existing listing. So you're going to have that ability if you pre-fill from an existing listing on a lot of these fields. So that's kind of one of the main streamliners over here, and you'll see this one is blank, but public record says 3. So all I have to do is click on the 3 and it'll go ahead and pre-fill that field with that number. So that's really that's a little game changer. And then the also one you'll notice is check out up here, you do not have a validate button. You have save as incomplete, publish, and cancel. So currently you have that validate where you put in the information, hit validate, and it blows it up if it's wrong. Well, there's auto validation in here, so it just does it in real time. So check this out. So for example, if I'm down in this listing, there's a little shortcut I like to show. If you click on these little red numbers, that will take you to the first required field of that section. So if I need to go back to the first required field right here, I'm going to click on the 11 and it takes me right there to that first field. Now here's the auto validation. Check it out. There's 11 required fields. There's 4 for this section. Once I fill out this, that 11 should go to a 10 and just auto validate as we fill out our fields. And then I go to the next one. I'm going to say full service. That 10 should go to a 9. So that's really, I mean, nothing has really changed except the interface, and it's made it a whole lot easier. So let's per se you want just the required fields. You need to, right, we are on a time crunch right here. Let me get the highlighter. You can flip this guy right here to required, and it's going to take all the non-required out, and you can just quickly go through there and get your listing active. right? Of course, we want you to fill out every field because we never know what somebody's searching by, right? And so over here, this might help some of you guys out. There's a thing over here called view full form. So what that means, it's automatically turned on, and that means I can scroll from listing to general to additional and so forth. If I want to turn that off and just, let's say I want to stick with just this section, then what I'll do is I'm going to come over here and turn this off, view full form. And now I'm in listing. Once I get to the bottom of this section, it will not let me move forward until I hit next. So I cannot go to general until I hit next. So if that works better for you in your flow, you can just flip that to off, or you can flip it back on and you can just go through the whole form. Okay. The other thing you can turn off, some people, you might say, hey, I just want to go old school. I don't want any help from, filling out any of these fields. If you want to turn all of this I call it autofill, it's the AI in there or whatever, you can come right here to expand data source. And if you flip that off, guys, that's going to shut all that off. It's just going to be, you'll see here in a second, you're just going to fill out each field and you will not have any help. I'm going to flip that back on. And assuming most of us are going to want a little bit of help on that, right? It's going to help us go through there. Again, nothing has changed. You're going to go through here. I just want to hit on rooms. Rooms is still going to be your three required, right? Nothing, no rules have changed. So you have the primary bedroom, that primary kitchen, and primary bathroom, right? So those are the only three. Nothing's changed there. Everything else is still the same. The only other part in here that has AI integrated is going to be when we get down here to the remarks and tours. So here's one thing I want to kind of stop and just take a breath. Your photos, when you upload them, there's an AI feature that is going to tag them. And I'll tell you this, going February 25th, they're going to actually put on a whole new part to this, a new AI function that we have not been able to test. So this is what it's going to do. So let's say I come over here and I upload these photos first. What it'll do is, let's say I upload, and I'll show you all this in a little bit. I upload kitchen and it has island kitchen and, stove. What it's going to do is the AI will look at those photos and then it'll go back and it can check those boxes off in your listing. Okay. So when we start these listings February 25th, sometimes it might make a little more sense to start uploading your photos first, because something else that's going to happen is when you get here to this public remarks, this is the other little AI guy. You'll see this little magic wand that's the AI. What it's going to do, it's going to look at all your listing details and it's going to write a public remarks description for you. Now, if I do it now, it's going to make a really good description. It's pretty spot on. But if I upload photos, it's also going to take a look at all your photos, integrate that into your photo public remarks description. Does that make sense? Okay. And it's something we can't really test until, they come out February 25th, but check this out. We can do this so far. So watch this. If I click the little magic wand here, it's gonna have you agree, say, hey, I agree to the little AI terms and conditions. You'll say continue, and it's going to give you three different tones. You have a playful, standard, and a professional. So what it's going to do is you can say, oh, let's look at the standard, and it's going to kind of rewrite this to be a standard little message. And you'll see, welcome to the, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, let's do a more professional. And it'll just change up your tone. So you have three different tones. People are using this today, guys. What they're doing is they're going into Chat GBT and then copying and pasting into here. This is, it's just integrated in at this point. And then if you want to use this, all you do is you flip it to the tone and then you click right here, save to public remarks, and it's going to drop that in there. Now, we don't want you to just stop right here. We want you to come in here and read it and edit it and make it your own, right? Because it's AI, right? It's auto-generated. Make sure that you read it, tailor it to your own, right, specifics. But it's really good. So this is going to really help us just kind of get more data in there, make our listings more plentiful with data, because that AI will take a lot of that out of it. And Really, nothing else has changed as far as your fields down here. So you can save as incomplete at this point. But remember, right, currently, if you want to go to your photos, you would have to save this as incomplete. You don't have to do it in the new system. There's also an auto save in the back end. It's still there. But check it out. Right here next to editor, you have photos. So if you click on photos, you can still import your photos from your existing listing. It does have to be your existing listing, though. Okay. So, has anybody done that where you brought your photos in from a previous listing? Okay. So, you guys can do it, but it has to be your pictures. And when you come in here, you just put in the listing ID, hit import photos. All right, now check this out. I'm going to say add photos. As far as the photos, you still get 40. Nothing has changed about, photos or anything else, except I will, for you techie people out there, they do have two new formats. So you have this HEIF and HEIC now. So I noticed those are two new formats. But all right, everybody watch. We go hit browse. Now, in this little dev environment, guys, whenever we upload photos, it's going to take like a minute to upload one. Whenever we go live, you can do all 40 and it just does it like instantly. So we've already tested that, but we're in a dev environment, so it's going to move slower. But what I want to point out is this first checkbox right here. This first one is saying that you agree that nobody else can come back and say those are my photos, right? So we have that today. The last one is the AI. You can choose to use it or not, right? This is optional. So if you don't want to use it, don't check it off. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, I understand. And then this is what happens. Everybody watch. You're going to hit continue and you're going to be like, what's going on? You have to scroll all the way down and then it'll turn green and you can hit continue. And then now we're going to go ahead and upload and let's test this out. So check it out. Okay, I'm just going to do two because of how slow it is, but let me show you these. So what it's doing right now is it's looking at your photos, it's going to tag the photo type, and it's going to write a description for each of your photos. If it cannot distinguish like what room this is, we've defaulted it to other. So I told you this part just takes a little while, but in the production, we've tested it. It'll go like that. So. All right. So right here, guys, you see it says front of structure, and then it gave it a little description. And we've already had this request to go ahead and expand it. So we've already, I think we're going to have this expanded. But everybody look, it says AI description right here. So if you do not change this, it's going to tag it as auto generated, right? But if you come in here and you start doing any human interaction, that AI part description goes away. Okay. If I back that out and leave the AI, it'll leave it right there. So here we have the kitchen. It says, here, look at this kitchen with the backsplash, dishwasher, kitchen island, stove. So it does a pretty good job. But again, it's just giving you a start. So we want you to go in there and, fill out the rest. All right. But what happens, Jack, if we upload a photo and it doesn't know what to do? So that's what I want to show you next. We're going to say upload a photo. And this one always, I think this one trips it up pretty well. Like that. Okay. So we'll give one here that's gonna hopefully it's not gonna know what to do with the photo type, right? It's kind of vague as far as the picture. And it should tag it as other. And then what we would do is we just go override the photo type. All right, perfect. So, yep, other, and we know, well, this is the dining room. So you can either type dining or just move up there and it'll find it, and we can change the photo type right there. So with the photos, what's cool about this, imagine we have 40 photos loaded up and you want to move them around. Well, same thing, just grab this four directional cross. You could kind of move the order. But what if you have like three photos at the back and you need to get them to the front? Well, we have a little option now. Let's say we want to get these two up to the front. We have 40. Just check them off, go to actions, and then you can say move to top or move to bottom. So I'll say move to top, and it'll just bring them right there to the front. And remember, those first 6 pictures is what's going to be on the flyer when you print it from Matrix, if you guys do that. All right, let me pause. Any questions so far? Comments, questions, concerns?
You guys can unmute and ask, so feel free to pipe up if you need to.
Ah, sorry you're sick. Yeah, a lot of crud going around.
This is great. I think it looks amazing so far.
Yeah, I don't think, honestly, guys, everybody that has come to one of these trainings has said it looks like it's going to make my life easier. It's just going to make it faster. Those that don't want to, use the AI, you don't have to, but the AI definitely will give us a little leg up. And then you save as incomplete. Um, really, gosh, that's really it. I mean, the photos will tag it. That's the kind of the AI part. And then really you're still going to go to add edit, go to listing manager, and change your view to the way you want. And really to go back to edit it here. And then again, these little 3 ellipses will change well, that's the action item. So we can change the status. We can create that open house. You can still go to the input form from the ellipses as well. So, share your listing. So yeah.
That's a lot better view too, when you can actually see the picture of the house.
I
Um,
agree, Christy. Yeah.
one
Yeah.
quick question on it's probably pretty obvious, but the when you're using the settings for the AI for the either property or previous listing or tax records, if either one of those two are not correct, you can still just add in like type in a different response, correct?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Let's go into one. So like we're back in here. Well, I should have hit the pencil. Go back to the input form. So you're in here. And yes, you're exactly right. We pre-filled from that existing listing. Something might be good would be like, let's go to like features and stuff. So like right here, right? This is what the previous listing put in there. So if I said, you know what? I don't really think this is an in-law floor plan. I just X that out right there and get rid of it. Or I can come back and say, you know what, let's add that back in because here's every data from that previous listing. So no, let's add it back in, click it. Or if there's more, you just click in here and you'll have all the different options in that field. And again, if you're like, oh, I just need a countertop, so start typing counter and it'll go right there.
Awesome.
Yeah. And oh, here's one other thing. If for some reason you wanted to turn this data fill off per field, that's what this guy right next to it is. If I want to turn it off, I just hit that and it'll turn that off. But I don't see people actually using that a whole lot, but we do give you that feature. Yeah. So upload your photos, your editor, and that's pretty much it, right? There's really not a whole lot of difference. It's just supposed to be more intuitive for you guys. And we're just going to get more data. Now, here's what I've been trying to, get you guys on board with is I would be using Cubicasa to upload a free floor plan to all my listings. I would, more importantly, if I were you, I would use this as my value proposition, right? Hey, if we sign that agreement, I'm going to leave you with a free floor plan today. And guys, Cubicasa, you can't just go download it. You get excited about it. I want everybody though to go use it tonight on their own home. As long as it's 5,000 square feet or less, it's free. There's a small upcharge if you have over a 5,000 square foot home. But what you do is you just first you're going to come over here, guys. I'll put it in here. But you have to come to unlock benefits, go to Cubicasa. I'll put this link in here, but you're gonna have to claim your account, put your email address, verify it, and then you can log into the app. The cool thing about this, guys, is we give you the free 2D floor plan for free. It'll come within a 12-hour turnaround. And then if you guys want, you guys can, the link I just dropped it into the chat. If you guys want, you can actually turn it into a 3D and also a virtual reality walkthrough. So that's the cool thing about Cubicasa. If you guys, because a lot of people I know use Matterport still, and if you have that big Matterport camera, you could sell it and use this app instead. Let me just show you. I have a couple. Let me show you some. Did a little demo here. So here's the that's a 3D of my house that it did. The 3D is like 20 bucks or something like that. The 2D is for free. But here's the cool thing. I did this in dim light. I scanned my wife, my kid's toys, like over in my, it erases everything. The AI does, cleans it up and makes it, but it keeps the same patterns. It's pretty wild. Like these are actual, this is my garage and I have some rugs out there and it keeps the same patterns. So it does that 2D, 3D, and then also let me show you this little floor plan that it does right here. It'll actually get you each room, tell you if it's heated, finished, the dimensions, the area. I mean, it's pretty wild. The coolest one though, this one right here, let me show you. This is the big package, right? This would be, if you paid about if you paid for all of them, but you'd get the 2D, 3D, and then it will turn it into this virtual reality walkthrough of the home. And that's all from using the Cubic Casa app. It's pretty wild, isn't it? All from your phone, like literally, and then it says, "Hey, Jack, slow down," or and it tells you it's pretty dummy proof. I made sure when I did this to make sure I was dim light. I tried to mess it up, and it still made it really perfect. So,
That's
that is
really
Cubic
impressive.
Casa.
Yeah.
Yeah. People say, well, it's an app. Guys, this app was made by appraisers. It is 99% accurate. Trust me, when it came on board, I was very skeptic. I called Candy Cook and I'm like, hey, I want you to kill this and break it, right? I want you to tell me everything that's wrong with it. We couldn't. It's made by an appraiser. It uses this technology. Honestly, a lot of the photographers are using this, and then you're buying this product from them, is what's happening. So it kind of levels the playing field for you guys. So hopefully you guys can utilize this and use it with your listing. Get as me, that's a huge value benefit, right? Every homeowner would love a free floor plan. So that's that. So that's listing manager. I want to
I
go
had
ahead and
a quick question real quick. I'm sorry.
no,
Um,
go ahead.
while you're editing, are you able to look at the listing? I always like
Let's
to
let's
look
go
at
and
it.
let's go back in here. So we're in let me go into the demo one. Okay, so we're going to the listing manager and we're going to go edit it. Okay. And so you're saying do we have it as incomplete or do we have it as active at this point?
Incomplete. So I
Okay.
like to look at it like while I'm entering everything and then see, because right now you can save it as incomplete and then view it, like what it will look like on the MLS, if that makes sense. Yeah, can you click right there?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, that's the same thing it does on my computer.
Yeah, so like currently, if you have an incomplete listing today, what do you do? If you
I
kind of
So let me see. Just go to, so when you're in there editing it, just click on validate.
boom, incomplete right here.
Uh-huh.
Um, Input form, and then
Yep.
okay, so
Oh, save
valid.
as incomplete. Sorry,
Okay,
the listing I'm looking at is active. Save as incomplete. And then
okay.
click right there on the listing ID. Yeah,
Yes. Okay, so what we want to do is to save as incomplete and be able to click on the listing ID and have that pop up.
right.
Perfect. No, that's good. That's great feedback why we are doing this because we still have some configuration ability. So I'm going to write that down and pass that on. So to view the incomplete is not working. View incomplete, and then you just click on the listing ID. Perfect. Thank you for bringing that up.
And
Yeah.
then I entered a listing last week and it did already do all the AI on the pictures.
Oh, they'd added that in? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so actually this listing, I have the living room, they're using it as a playroom. So all of the pictures of the living room all came in as playroom. So I
Oh,
had to
very
make sure I
cool.
went and changed all of those.
Oh, nice.
That was my
Okay.
first time seeing that. I wasn't aware that I was doing that. But you do have to read through everything because it said dark wood floors, and I didn't like that wording. But yeah, you do have to read it all. But it's a cool feature.
Yeah, the other question I get, guys, is at first it was not scrubbed against like the HUD rules and everything, and it's like one thing we saw was families. I mean, it was pretty good, but it had a little, so we've actually we contacted them. They have rooted out all of that stuff, so it should be compliant with your descriptions now. So, but if it's not, let us know. But we brought that to their attention, and I think they flagged all those keywords. Yeah. No, great stuff, guys. Any other questions on the listing manager input, add, edit? Okay. So, I'll be teaching these classes. I've rewrote, the whole manual, so you guys will be up to date. Again, if you guys want to look at anything here, I'll put this into the chat, but if you guys come to our website and you go to Unlock Opportunity, that is our landing page for everything coming out February 25th. So if you guys have any other agent friends that were not able to make this, then here is where they go, where FAQs, find a training, open labs. You can watch all the videos that we've shot and done for you guys. So I'm going to drop this little landing page into the chat for you guys. Okay. All right. The next one, moving on, is going to be the CMA manager. So the CMA got a new upgrade finally. um, yeah, gosh, man, it looked like the 1980s. And here's the thing, you can still use the old one or you can use the new one. So with this, you can go back and forth. So it's not going to be what we call the hard cutover. So, but I can't really, I don't really see many people using the old one once you see the new one. So when we get in here, let me go ahead and show you. When you go here, you're going to see the new CMA manager. That's what it's called. It's going to look pretty similar to your listing manager, right? As far as your view over here, you'll see the view is right here. It looks very similar. You can change it to a thumbnail view. And then you also have that gallery view. So you have those three different views, kind of the same throughout. So again, if you want to edit your CMA, you're just going to hit the little, the pencil that will edit it. And there's two ways to start a CMA, right? You guys can start a CMA from here, from the beginning, going to CMA Manager, and you can say new CMA report, and then we can start entering our subject. Or you guys can start by searching for your comps and finding your comps first. So I'll show you guys both ways, whatever works best for you. I do want to show you this little AI thing that's in here. I'll be really upfront. It is not perfected. They are still working on it. But let me show you what it does. So for example, let me come in here and let's say we're going to do let me get a little address here. Let's do this one right here. So 308 and no. All right. So you're going to put in the subject's property right here. And then after you put in the subject, you can connect it to a contact or, create one on the fly. Again, they're not going to know that you've done this until you've actually sent them the CMA though. Okay. It doesn't notify them. And then here's the new AI. So this is something I have not really embraced yet because they just have not perfected it, but it's a pretty cool tool. It will come and suggest up to 50 comps for you. And so it's looking at bedrooms. It has that down and it's similar square footage. I've noticed, but they're still working on it because it's pulling in withdrawals and expires. But check it out. Let's pull in 20. And I'm going to say create the CMA. So this is where the AI will go out and look for comps for you. There's the subject and it's kind of gone out here and you can see it's looked at similar beds. So 3 beds. I've been testing this out and then similar square footage. So I haven't got the percentage yet, but I'm assuming it's a 20% spread, but they're all 3 bedrooms. And let's see here. Oh yeah, so see it's still pulling in some withdrawn. So what I would do is I would just go ahead and hit the X for any comps that I do not want at this point. Close, closed, hold, withdrawn. Let's get rid of that one. And so on this way, you would go through these 20 comps and get rid of any that you do not want. And then after you're done there, you can actually go find more comps at this point, or we're just going to move on to comparison. And then when we get to comparison, this is where we can do adjustments. But here's what I've learned so far. Before I come in and do any adjustments here, there might be some fields that you guys want to adjust for, and you are not going to find them here, right? They're not going to be here. So what I have learned is I always go to CMA details at the beginning, because the CMA details, you can add the description. Again, everything's in there that we've already done. We can change the cover photo. And then here it gave remarks for it. But what I want everybody to do is I want you to do your due diligence and check all of these fields. Okay. And you'll go through these tabs. But the main thing is once you get to custom, this is where you're going to add any fields that you want to adjust by. So this gives you the option to go and pull any of those fields from the MLS, and then we can adjust by those later on in the CMA. So after you're done adding all these and setting your custom fields, and if you want to set them as a default, that's this button here, and then hit save after you're done. And then once you're in here under comparison, guys, this is what I want to show you. So over here to the right, this right here edits the fields. What that means here is if I hit edit fields, that allows me to turn off or on any of the fields that are currently showing up. So if I don't want, for example, county to show up, I could flip that off if you didn't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that back on. And here's the main thing is your adjustment. So check it out. This is actually really cool. When you go to adjustments, you go to the little gear, and depending on your view, here's the vertical. So we're going to start off with the vertical, and then I'm going to show you the horizontal. So when we adjust on the vertical view, you're going to do line item adjustment. So you just go down vertically and you can do your adjustments. If you want to take out the concessions, there they are right there. You would just back out your concessions here. So that's the vertical view. Now, if we flip it to horizontal, this gives you the ability, same in the current system, you can put the price of the adjustment up here. So let's say a garage space costs $1,500. It will go through and make any adjustments automatically for you. And then once you're really done with that, doing your adjustments, property full, that really is just for you guys to just make sure that you go through each of these and you can look at everything, taxes, photos, supplemental stuff, and you can go through each of these just to make sure they're still a good comp. And then after you're done vetting those, we're pretty much done, guys. You'll go to the summary. It gives you all of our comps based off of pricing, where they fall on a little chart. And then if I want to look on it based off of square footage, it'll also do that based off of square footage. Okay. I was like, what? Okay. Okay, I'm seeing some stuff that is off on that. So let me check. 1380 should be more over here. But so it gives you a little thing, but and then really, guys, after that, to price the property, does everybody see the little the dollar sign with the zero right there at the top? So that's where you go to price it. Pretty simple. You just click on there, and then you can either put in your suggested price, or most people are going to use a price range, and you just flip that button on, and you can put in your price range right here. So we'll just put in something, arbitrary. 799. And then we'll go over here, 2399. All right, and then you can put in a message on why you priced it that way, hit your save button, and then we're done, guys. That's pretty much it. Now you go to personalize, and the coolest thing about this is now we can actually, we have different formats. We can personalize this. If you want to take out, or if you want to, let's say, move one of these pages up or down, you can readjust the order of the pages. If you want to get rid of a page, you can hit this little eyeball. It removes that page. And then over here, you can look at in a web or a PDF format. And then if you want to say change the layout, it's going to go ahead and you'll see we have a basic, a professional, and I'm assuming they're going to add some more in here as well. But now let's say we want a professional one. All right. And then you can share it. And then right here, before you share it, this actually gives you an easy button. I would like this for the incomplete listing, right? View incomplete listing, but it says view presentation. So if you want to view it before you send it, you can click right here and it'll take you in so you can kind of get a good look at it. All right. So let me go ahead. And then this is so what do you guys think about this new CMA tool? And so let me show you something else that sometimes I will tell you this. Until they perfect that little AI stuff and it's picking the comps, I may use it, I may not, but let me show you another way to start that CMA. So if you don't want to use that little AI picker, all you're really going to do is you'll come over here. Let's refresh this. Let me see. Looks like it got stuck here for a second.
I have a question why it's doing that. Do you know if we can change the colors on the template or no?
I do not know. That's a good question. Let me
Okay.
see, because they just added in that second professional template, and that's what and just to be transparent, guys, the CMA manager is like the last one they're like hacking away at trying to get it by February 25th. So they told me, hey, we're 95% done with it, but we're still adding stuff in on the back end. So I don't know, but we'll find out and I can ask around. So
That's all right. I was just curious.
yeah, no, me too, for sure. Personalizations. Um, okay. Let me try to open Matrix back up here. If not, let me see. I think I have a demo version pulled up I can still access. Yeah, okay. Well, regular Matrix, I don't know if you guys, it looks like it's giving me a little bit of Uh, okay. So, let's see here. Oh, the other way to start the CMA, right? The other way, if you do not want to start at this, where you go to My Matrix and you start with, oh no, My CMA, it doesn't have the, oh, it is a CMA man. It's the new one. Okay, cool. So if you don't want to start from here, guys, right? Go to here and then start with new CMA. Let me show you a little tip that I like to do. So with the new CMA, you have to go to the new search. If you go to the old search, it's gonna go to the old CMA. Everybody good with that? So I know this new search is not. I still like to teach off the old one. The new one, we're still all kind of getting used to this. But really, this is what it is, guys. In the old version, you have criteria, map, and results all on three separate tabs. Here you have criteria, map, and results all on one screen. So that's kind of the new way it rolls. And then here's your property type. So I've noticed it defaulted to cross property. So I like you flip it to residential and then just watch. I'll go to statuses and say we want some active, pendings, and closed. And you can do a lot of the same stuff in the old version, but watch this. I'll come pick my sub property type. It's a single family residence. And then what I like to do here with the map, guys, is watch this. And you have this in your current map. But if you come over here into your map, you have this thing called jump to location. So you have it in your current one where you can plug in the address. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to plug in the address for the property we're going to comp and hit enter. All right, now it's going to pinpoint that. What I like to do next is I'm going to kind of zoom out a little. And at this point, I know some people like to come and use your drawing tools. So you have your polygon, your radius. So if you wanted to take that radius and go outside of here, right, and say, let's just go out a certain mileage, you can use that. Or I want to show you guys something that's really cool that I find a lot of agents don't know is you can come over here to this thing that's called layers. So let me highlight that for you guys at home. And when you do layers, there's a boundaries, the first one, and you can overlay. So depending on, hey, do you want to run this CMA based on where they go to school, right? Because sometimes, hey, it's based on that school, or is it based off of the neighborhood, right? So you can kind of overlay these. And here's the cool thing. I'll say, let's do it based off of neighborhoods. So it's going to overlay my neighborhoods. And then what I found, guys, is they have this sweet little tool right here, this little plus sign that says convert the layer to a polygon. Because previously I'd overlay this and then I'd have to come take my polygon and then I have to draw around this and it took forever. So now check it out. You just go and click the little plus and you can click on your layer and it's going to extract all the listings from that layer. And then you're just like, well, what if I want to use two different layers? What I found is you'll have to come back, click that little polygon again, and you can click that next little layer. So I'm going to click on two different subdivisions over here. Oh, did it take it? There we go. And it's just kind of going to take a second because, again, we are in staging. And then in a second, it's going to pull up all of my comps right here below. I'll give it a second here. And it's going to be slow, but it's going to pull in all of those comps. And so at this point, once it pulls those comps in, you have two options, right? Some of us like to do the that quick CMA, or you can do the full CMA. So at this point, what I would do is I would go ahead and I would, and it's running really slow. But anyways, it should be finding all of those closed and it'll have those in there. And then what you'll do is you'll click right here to select all. And then if you want to do the CMA wizard, you'll click CMA and that will start that same CMA wizard we did. Or if you want to do the quick CMA, it's right here. So everybody watch because it's a little tricky place. Y'all see the three little dots right there, the action items? So that's where you're going to go and click on the action items. And now we have the ability to make directions, or in this case, create that quick CMA. Oh, pulled up. All right, so that's the CMA portion, guys. Again, just a brand new kind of updated look and feel to it. If you like to use the old version, then you just simply go through here and just go through the I would call it the what do you call it? The classic mode, and just do it through that way, and you can do the classic CMA as well still. So, any questions on that part? Let me look at the chat as well.
Think we're good.
Awesome. Well, good. All right, guys. Well, I got about 12 minutes left. I had to jump on a meeting, so I want to show you guys the One Home, the client portal. So here's the cool thing, guys. With the new client portal, and with your listings, again, you guys there's no action items needed. Everything will get carried over seamlessly on February 25th. Okay. So what is One Home? What do I need to do? You don't have to do anything. One Home is just the new portal experience for your clients. So if you've seen the current portal where they go to my personal opinion, it looks like from the 1980s. It's a little outdated. So what they've done now is, and this is how you can get to it, is you'll go, let me go ahead and go back over here. So you'll go into Matrix. And then once you're inside of Matrix, this is the same way you get to your portal today. So if you want to kind of, see the differences, you can do that. But what you'll do is you'll open up Matrix. Is Matrix down on y'all's end? This is the live production version. Is it up on y'all's end? Okay. Okay, well, let me go back to the demo mode here. I can still pull it up here. What you'll do, guys, is if you go to the My Matrix and go to your auto emails like this and just click on any auto email. Oh, hold on. Let me get out of here. When they're working on it while you're trying to demo it, sometimes you run into this. All right, check it out. Here we go. So now when you go to an auto email, you can do this in today. You go and click on the auto email and you're going to see, oh my gosh, it's gone. Okay. They must have just, so sometimes this happens when you're in a staging environment. They are taking stuff. And so anyways, it says open One Home right here. So let me try to go ahead and see here. Here's One Home is what it looks like. I had it pulled up recently. So let me just show you. Okay. So in order to pull it up, I can't right now, but you would go to auto emails and it would say right here, open One Home. Okay. When you click on it, it's going to go ahead and take them. And this is the new client experience. So now it's going to look more updated for them. It's pretty neat. Check this out. They can come over here and they can see their saved searches, their searches, and then any kind of listings that you sent them. They can compare different listings. Let's say they want to compare, let me remove one right here and say, let's add a property. So we'll go from the search, and what you can do is you hit compare, and then once you have three to compare, your client can come over here and do a line item comparison, and they can even do estimated monthly cost per each, property. So I kind of give them a little, where they're at, and they can plug in the numbers. So this is the compare feature that they're able to do now. One of my favorites is what they're able to do, and I'm also trying to get us this ability, okay? Because I've had this feedback. So check this out. I'm going to come in here and do a new search. So the clients now have this ability to where they can do a AI search. So check, it's pretty cool. So they can come in here and your client can say, you know what? I want to upload an image and I want to have a house that has a spiral staircase. And it's going to go through. And when I say apply, I'm on buy right now. It's going to look for every home in the MLS for purchase that has that kind of similar spiral staircase. Pretty wild, huh? What if they want to rent a home with a similar picture? They flip this from buy to rent or lease, hit apply. It's going to take that same photo. They can upload multiple photos too and search 3 different photos, and it's going to pull similar listings to that. So the feature, the question I get, guys, is, hey, why don't we have that ability? So I've passed that back along because I think that would be cool for us to have, right? If your client says, hey, I want something that looks like this picture, we, be able to upload that and search. But in the meantime, if you do get that, you can just come in here on February 25th. You'll just go in and open their one home by going right here to like an auto email, click on one home, open it up, and then you guys can come over here and you guys can upload a picture. Just go and do your own little search in here as well. Yeah. But it's cool. So, they're gonna it's pretty straightforward for them, right? Here's your favorites, here's your agent picks, dislikes, your agent discards, and then this is my favorite part, guys, is the planner. So what's happening here is they can either say I'm in the buying or selling mode, and it'll walk them through the process, getting to know the process. So, what's the typical timeline for a buyer? What can I do to make sure everything runs smoothly? And it'll just kind of hold their hand through that process and ask them different questions as well. I can say, okay, no, I'm in the selling mode, and I can flip it. It'll take me through discover your cost, setting the price. And so it's also kind of setting expectations for them and helping us out so that, they kind of know what to do. So all of this, and then if they answer their questions, let me see if I can pull this up. I think it's in the regular environment, so let's see if it pulls up. But what happens here is whenever we are able to log in, what we can do is we can see their answers on the back end. So we can see kind of what they're looking for, what their desires are. So let me see if I can't get that in real time here. Okay.
Do they have to create an account or anything?
Good question. Yes, they have to. Well, they don't have to. Okay. If you send them something, they can just go and click on it and look at it. But if they want to be able to, y'all write notes back and forth and heart listings and do the interaction, then they have to create an account. So that's a great call out because currently what I've been told is that portal, you can click a link and share it, and there's no security. With this new feature, they have to log in, and it has, adds kind of a layer of protection or security over it. Yes. So, okay, let me go to contacts. Let me see, check it out. Let me see here. I just did one. Let me see. I can't remember if it was in which one. Let me see. I think it was this one. Yeah. So check it out. So what they did was they went through and they started answering all of these, questions. And it says, I wanted a newer home. I want a yard. And it kind of walks them through. And on the back end, we can see all of this data that they're collecting, and we can kind of get a feel of their wants, over here. And then right here, it shows you how far they are along that planner task. So right here, they're on the second step of the buyers. So yeah, just a cool, interactive experience for them. It's just going to make it more lively, and hopefully it's also going to integrate into the Unlock MLS app. So the app, your Matrix app that you guys use in the field, if you guys use that, it's called Unlock MLS. That's also going to integrate with One Home. So it's all going to kind of talk with each other.
I might have missed this, but for the clients that are already on a search, will their next email prompt them to do this, or how will that work?
Yeah, yeah, good question. So, yeah, whenever they come in here, it's going to, when they first hop in here and it sends them the link, it's going to have a little wizard that walks them through and says, hey, step one, kind of like highlight stuff on those wizards, and it'll just walk them through it and get them to know the process and kind of show them the steps.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Somebody asked, Laura said, I signed up for one of the trainings about this. Will you be covering anything different? So if it's a power hour training or one of the listing manager trainings, I'm going to be covering exactly this, the listing manager, the CMA, and then also the one home. So yeah, it's all over. We're just trying to overdo it on this so that when February 25th comes, there's no surprises. There will be, but we're doing our best.
Yeah, good luck with that. I really appreciate this, Jack. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy your day, guys.
Take care, everybody.